It is currently Thursday, October 9th, the night before the go-home episode of Friday Night SmackDown because it's in Australia. And Crown Jewel Perth is right around the corner. Very exciting. We currently have 5 official matches announced, and I don't believe they're going to add another one. So I figured there isn't a more perfect time to give you my 2025 Crown Jewel Perth match card predictions. But before we get into my predictions, I want to know what your predictions are, as well as what match you're looking forward to the most, so feel free to leave that in the comments. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting off hot, we have WWE Champion Cody Rhodes versus World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins for the Crown Jewel Championship match. Now, this match is more than an exhibition match. We've obviously seen in the previous weeks and Monday Night Raws and SmackDowns how they've been really building the story element to this match, which is really exciting. I'm very happy because it makes it feel like it's more than just a match for a match. There are actual implications of who wins and who loses, which is very exciting, makes me very happy. In terms of who I think is going to win, though, I think this is a must-win match for Seth Rollins. Cody Rhodes is already leading in this feud, but I think he can suffer a loss to Seth Rollins. He's also been gone for a little bit, so he could still be a little bit rusty, but this is a must-win match for Seth Rollins, so I'm predicting Seth Rollins is going to win. Now, the big question is, will there be an interference? There have been teases with, is Paul Heyman actually confident in Seth Rollins? Is Seth Rollins actually confident in himself? Is he able to beat Cody Rhodes alone? That is the question. I'm going to predict, though, that there won't be any interferences and Seth Rollins will pin Cody Rhodes clean. I'm assuming that this match is going to close out the show, and I think they're going to want to end this pay-per-view or this PLE on a good note, especially after the very poor ratings of WrestlePalooza, and I think Seth Rollins is going to beat Cody Rhodes clean for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship. Next up, we have WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton going up against the newly crowned Women's World Heavyweight Champion Stephanie Vaquer, again for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. Now, I will say this is the match that I am the least excited for. I do think it's the most exhibition-ish. There aren't any real implications for who wins or loses this match, but I will add, though, I think if Stephanie Vaquer loses, it will severely hurt the momentum that she has right now, just because she is such a new champion. And I do think Tiffany Stratton can take a loss here, just because she's been on this reign of terror. I guess not really reign of terror, but she's had this super long title reign, and she is a very she is a solidified main event star, where Stephanie Vaquer, she is new to this main event scene, and she does have the talent to succeed in it. I just think that making her take a loss immediately after she won the championship will really stunt her momentum. So I personally am hoping Stephanie Vaquer wins, and I'm picking her to win because I think that she needs this win more than Tiffany Stratton does, and I don't think that that's something WWE wants to do. I think they want to have thriving women's champions on both brands, and I think that Tiffany Stratton, like I said, can take the loss. Stephanie Vaquer, I don't think can. So because of that, I think that Stephanie Vaquer is going to win this match, and she's going to beat Tiffany Stratton. Moving on, though, we have my most anticipated match. These two superstars have put on my personal favorite match of all time, and that is John Cena versus AJ Styles. My personal favorite match being their SummerSlam match in 2016 because AJ Styles beat John Cena. I was a huge John Cena hater back in the day. Obviously, I appreciate everything he's done for the business, though, and for WWE in general and wrestling. But yeah, I'm super excited for this match. There was no build for this, which is a little disappointing, but at the end of the day, I don't really care because it's happening, and it was looking like it wasn't going to happen. And these two have put on absolute bangers before. Absolutely love their in-ring chemistry. So I'm really just hoping that they can, pull something out one last time. They are both getting up there in age. I'm hoping they can really squeak out one last super technical, super entertaining match with each other. In terms of who wins, though, I am picking John Cena to win. I think, he took that loss to Brock Lesnar, and I think that this is the first step in recovering from that. I'm not sure if he'll end up facing Brock Lesnar again, but if he does, then this is definitely a must-win. I don't want John Cena to take any more losses just because, he only has so many appearances left. But at the end of the day, I do think John Cena is going to win. But at the end of the day, all I really want from these two is just a spectacular match, and for them to put on a stellar show because they've done it before. They've done it multiple times before. So why not do it one last time? But prediction-wise, I'm picking John Cena. The next match I want to talk about is the most recent addition to the Crown Jewel Perth card, and that being Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed in an Australian street fight. This match is slightly intriguing. I was kind of hoping we'd get Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker, but I think that's too big of a match for Crown Jewel. But seeing the rematch between Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns is still pretty intriguing, especially now that there's that added element of it being a street fight, because that obviously opens the doors for Paul Heyman to come in, Braun Breaker to come in and interfere. And because there are those interferences allowed, I'm picking Bronson Reed to beat Roman Reigns, because not only is Bronson Reed the Australian native and Crown Jewel is in Australia, so hometown favorite, hometown crowd, good for him to go over, and that'll lead into my next pick. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but also I don't think he's going to beat him clean. Roman Reigns obviously just came back, has a lot of hype, still has that aura, so I don't think they're going to want to take away from his stature by having him getting beaten cleanly. I do think there is going to be either interferences, Paul Heyman coming out and distracting him, Braun Breaker coming out and actually, spearing him, some sort of funny business that'll, give Bronson Reed the edge and allow him to beat Roman Reigns, because I do think Bronson Reed does need to win. I think, he's sort of the weak link in the division. Seth Rollins still has that stacked resume. Braun Breaker still has his stacked resume. Bronson Reed, not so much. So I think even if he wins and it's not clean, I still think he needs a win against Roman Reigns, and it's in his hometown of Australia, so picking Bronson Reed. Wrapping it up though, the fifth and final match, we have Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus Asuka and Kairi Sane. Now this is my hot take of the PLE. I believe that Asuka and Kairi Sane are going to beat Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, even though Rhea Ripley is the Australian native and it would be cool for her to go over. But that's why I picked Bronson Reed in the last pick, because he is an Australian native. They're not going to have both Australian natives not go over, I think one of them has to, and I think Bronson Reed needs it more. And I think, having Asuka and Kairi Sane wins really helps move this story along. It establishes them two as, strong opponents. They're good competitors, and they can beat two of the top female competitors, not just in the WWE, but in the world of professional wrestling, that being Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. And I do think they're going to win clean. The way that they might win is, Io Sky may feel conflicted attacking Kairi Sane. There might be a moment of hesitation in which Asuka takes advantage of, and then they end up getting the pin on Io Sky. I do think Io Sky will take the pin. They aren't going to have Rhea Ripley take the pin in Australia. And I really think this helps move the story along and build up to that eventual Kairi Sane, face turn on Asuka, which hopefully will get a huge crowd reaction. That'll probably be months down the line, probably closer to War Games or even Royal Rumble season. But yeah, final pick, I have Asuka and Kairi Sane beating Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. Those are currently all of the matches that have been announced. I don't believe they are going to add a sixth one. WWE seems to really like this 5-match card PLE format. So as of right now, those are my official WWE Crown Jewel 2025 predictions. Again, let me know what your predictions are in the comments, as well as what match you are looking the most forward to. If you made it to the end of the video, I really do appreciate it. Be on the lookout for more wrestling videos. I'm also making some Lego videos, so if you're interested in that, check those out as well.